133 to 119. The Suns do win 2 games in a row. Jake, how you doing tonight? Was this a good victory, or am I a little delayed? Is this sounding okay?
No, it's coming through.
Okay, great. All right, awesome.
Yeah, you're coming through just like the Suns came through tonight. Except now I just lost you on video, so I hope I'm still live, Suns Jam fans. I'll just continue to hold down the fort. And is Lissy gone for everybody else? Okay, you hear me. Okay, it is just me. Okay, so sorry about. Oh, there he is. I legit thought it was just like me hanging out by myself there for. While Lissy gets set up. Oh yeah, I can hear you. Yes, loud and clear again.
This is such bullshit. Hold on one second.
Live from the Footprint Center, Baby Bash and Matthew Lissy. It's the Bash attack. He's taking all the audio from you there, Matthew. All I want to know is, before we get this thing started, as we've already gotten this thing started, is was her name Meg from the last episode that was very upset with all of your lies?
Can you hear me at all?
I can hear you perfectly. Can you not hear me at all?
Check.
Yeah, I hear you. Good. This is coming through loud and clear. Yeah. Sorry, this is so creepy now. I don't know if we can hear you, though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
All right, awesome. Is the intro still playing? Jamsters, Jake, I apologize. This is just a miserable start to the podcast. I was having some technical difficulties, and I think now we're seeing each other. I think did John come in actually for a little bit? Oh, he's right behind me right now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
John is here.
Do you see him creeping right now?
Yeah, he's creeping right there. Yeah. So, Jake, thank you for holding it down while I got things figured out. John,
I don't know. Well, I did.
His nephew are hanging out before. I don't even know how they got in here. I guess they could just waltz right in. But I thought actually he jumped on to actually save the day for a little bit. But now we're live. Now we're ready to go. I can hear you. You can hear me. Jamsters have still hung around. I really appreciate it. Tonight the Suns did win 133 to 119. The intro did play maybe twice, so we're not going to do that again. Jake, tonight game was interesting, right? Beal coming back, not really having a solid stat line, but playing a lot of minutes, right? He didn't really seem as, fluid as the rest of the guys. But what you saw from the rest of the team, it was pretty impactful, right? They played a pretty good game tonight, right? Are we pretty happy?
Oh yeah, I think there was a lot of we've just been so waiting for this ball to drop in terms of getting the big three on the court for an entire game, and Bradley Beal playing 29, over 29 minutes tonight. I think exactly what he needed, because he played it all. And he apparently is healthy at the end of the game. This is an amazing video right now, by the way, for all those paying attention to the YouTube version. Yes. Kevin Durant 38 plus minutes, Devin Booker 36 minutes, and guess what, Suns fans? They all left the court healthy, and we got the win. Yes, the stat line wasn't perfect, 6 points, 7 assists. But hey, I'll take that as he works his way back into finding out how he's supposed to play within this offense. And I think that was kind of expected, wasn't it, Matthew? That he's played what, like 3-4 games so far this season, and he's still okay. And each time it's kind of, I think only one time did he play with the rest of the big three, and it was for 5 minutes, and he's trying to figure out how to play with them. So now he finally got a full game under his belt, and looks like everyone's healthy.
Yeah, and just again, really quick, I know you had to put up with our bullshit over here at Jam Session where John's in the background eating some, I think it's more Russ's pretzels, but also he had a beer, so he's drinking and driving tonight. Jake, you'll probably never come on again when I ask you to. I hope you actually stick with us the rest of the pod. But I totally agree. I think what the Suns did last game, where they kind of, revamp things. They got back into like the mode of winning. You know what I mean? Because I think the game before that, we can kind of see like things were really getting to them, right? There was kind of like a frustration that was kind of built, whether you want to believe it or not. There was something there for sure. They kind of extinguished that last game. Tonight, though, they kind of ran away with things. I think the way that the Hornets kind of held it together from the 3-point line kept them in the game, which was kind of frustrating at times. But before we get any further, I want to go ahead and bring out Biscuits in the Bear to donate $14 in the chat. So shout out to him. I am on my tiny phone. I would bring it up in the chat, but I don't want my fat fingers to end this thing. And then Jake's just like, you know what? Last time I ever hear this shit. But you know what? I'm probably not gonna play too many drops, but I do want to talk about the game that Eric Gordon did have. The last few games, he's really been hitting from behind the arc. He's 21 points tonight, and I think you saw in the second quarter with Saban Lee entering the game. The way that Saban Lee was actually feeding everybody, making sure that everybody was, hands-on, that was awesome, right? I think Saban Lee and Eric Gordon coming off the bench tonight were huge. I think Saban Lee only had the 3 assists, but you can see his impact, right? So between Eric Gordon and Saban Lee coming off the bench and really holding things down, you can sense that bench is kind of forming. So my first question to you, I'm not going to play the drop, is what happened to Jordan Goodwin? And is it weird that he's just not playing now because Saban Lee is kind of a thing? Is that strange?
Well, yeah, and shout out to the Aussies. Oi, Matty, mate, I've got to ask. That's my impersonation of Boyd good. From Aussie Suns fans.
It sounds just like him, yeah.
I've got to ask. Yeah, no, it was a little bit weird seeing 1 minute, just over 1 minute from Goodwin tonight. I kind of look at him as the defensive guard off the bench, and we saw a lot more Saban Lee over 14 minutes. Eric Gordon, I tell you what, I think we all wish at some point that we could talk to our boss the way Eric Gordon essentially did was it about 4 or 5 days ago, just being like, I want to be featured more. And then, okay, we'll see what you can do. Oh, he drains threes from everywhere when he's featured more. So Eric Gordon playing absolutely fantastic. And I think Saban Lee has realized kind of what a lot of Suns fans have been talking about is these role players need to know when to attack and not just stay behind the 3-point line. We saw it with Yuta, KBD, Nazi Little a little bit, is that they just like to sit out there and just swing the ball back around. Where's Durant? Where's Booker? And that's their role, except if they, get an offensive rebound or something. But Saban Lee goes, no. I'm not hitting the 3 very well right now. I'm going to drive and either take the shot at the basket, and he was getting fouled and drawing contact, or dishing out and getting some assists, or at least creating and pulling that defense in to the interior so those guys for open shots on the perimeter actually have the open shots. And it was Eddie Johnson was talking about that a lot tonight. That's what Saban needs to do. That is his bread and butter. Drive in, try and draw contact. If you don't get it, dish off to that open 3-point shot. And it's good to see. Maybe that can rub off on some of these players too. I feel like other than him, it's Grayson Allen and Booker are the only ones that really do it.
Yeah, and I think that Saban kind of probably listened to everybody. I think in preseason he was kind of ball hoggy a little bit, right? He was basically trying to get his own every game, and it was really frustrating because I always saw something in Saban. I know he's a pretty good defender tonight. He had a few steals, and he was helping out the defense by just kind of shutting down Rozier at times, even though Rozier could not miss, man. I know a lot of those shots were wide open from the Hornets, but those guys were absolutely shooting like nuts. I think it was 51% from behind the 3-point line. The Suns did shoot 63%. But, I mean, the Hornets just kind of wouldn't go away. I think it looked like a blowout, but it really kind of wasn't. It was kind of like, oh, here we go again. The Hornets got down to 10 points, 12 points in the fourth quarter with about 5 minutes left. But then the Suns kind of pulled away. I think that what Saban could do is really bring that defensive intensity off the bench, but also he was a good passer, and I saw that before, and he just needs to really trust it because I think a few times tonight he would have, like you said, took those threes, but he didn't because he has guys like Eric Gordon he can hit. So, like, There was one play where he just missed them. I kind of took a little running shot, missed that one. Then the next possession, he made sure to get Aaron Gordon that good look. And I said Aaron Gordon. I did write the preview for Brightside, and I put that it was Aaron Gordon starting tonight, not Eric Gordon. So I think we all wish we had Aaron Gordon, but I'll take Aaron Gordon.
Not the master of slam dunks. Yeah, much more.
Yeah.
We want the Hobbit launching those threes.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. The way that the Hornets came out tonight, I think 11 of their first 13 points were in, 10 of their first 13 points were at the rim in the paint. So right away, you kind of felt the Suns' offense was really grooving, but the defensive end, like they could not stop anybody. So I like Grayson starting, I really do. But right now, like, is your mind set on this starting lineup going forward if they stay healthy? Or do you want someone maybe a little bit bigger? You want kind of like that power forward there at the 4 to start for the Suns to kind of help defensively? Or is this just going to be a thing all season until they figure things out?
At this point, exactly. I'm going to have to take the easy answer and say I think it's a thing all season. And it's going to be matchup dependent. Josh Okogie out tonight, wasn't feeling it, and apparently played through injury last game and got a little injured and banged up in the Mavericks game. He's really, if there's a defensive specialist on our team, it's Josh Okogie. And I don't think you probably were able to hear the Bradley Beal post-game interview on the court. But they talked to him a little bit of it, and he's like, just trying to figure out my way in this offense, trying to play aggressive, feeling good. And he said, our offense was great tonight. And it was. I mean, it's amazing how close this game was when I tell you that the Suns shot 62.2% and 60% from 3. That is astronomical. But
Yes.
as you point out, 50% from 3 by the Hornets and 47.8 from field goal. So they're actually shooting better from 3 than anywhere else. And that's what I mean when Bradley Beal, and it was referenced in the chat, Bradley Beal goes, our defense was trash. Like he just it was trash. Like, I mean, you could tell he was still kind of having fun with it. He's not like, it wasn't a LeBron answer. We're gonna play better defense. It was terrible and stuff like that. Beal was like,
Yeah.
We can't do this against real teams. Like it was just very much like an admission of this was crap. And so hopefully, it's a little bit gelling. You got defense because it's so much more team structured, right, than individual. You can have individual specialists, but they can't do it by themselves, and it really draws them back. And I think we saw that a little bit with Grayson Allen. He was considered a great defender. It was much more because Milwaukee Bucks team defense made the whole system work. So I think as the starting lineup continues to gel, as at least the big 4 continue to know where each other are on the court at all times, that defense should improve. I don't know if we're going to get a Frank Vogel special, but I will say this: it was kind of amazing. 7 days ago today, John Voida said, "Hey, Doc Rivers, what do you think about living in Phoenix?" So what a difference 7 days makes, Suns fans, that I think we're starting to see a little bit of sunshine on the horizon again for this team.
I think so too, and I want to kind of get your take too, going back to last game. I know right now we're excited. We're on a 2-game win streak, and you don't really want to bring up the past at all, but I kind of want to get your thoughts on how things kind of shook out. Like, I think the Suns heard. I think Kevin Durant heard the fan base and everybody. They was just a little worried about the frustration that we might see on the team and their body language on the court. Do you think they heard and that they just responded? They knew, like, hey, we got to come out. I mean, Kevin Durant had his first triple-double as a Phoenix Sun, and he, absolutely tore it up last game. Tonight was great as well, but I just think that this team is listening. They know how badly they need some wins, but also, like, the frustration part. Did you believe that at all? Was that something that you're like, oh yeah, Kevin Durant looks frustrated? Is this really an out? Is he trying to get out of Phoenix? Was that anything?
No, I agree with John Voida as he enters the chat.
Should. Yeah. Where are you, in a pool?
Oh, he's in the carpool. Carpool lane. No, but Voida was 100% right when he said Kevin Durant should be frustrated. Every Suns player should have been frustrated. Frustrated doesn't mean you want out. Frustrated means you're frustrated with what is currently happening, and you want better for you and those around you. And I think if I was watching the bench a little bit tonight, especially the end of the game, man, Durant looked like he was having the biggest belly laugh, and Booker was telling jokes, and Beal was there, and Nurkic was sitting there laughing. And this did not look like a frustrated trade me to the Golden State Warriors for a bag of peanuts and some other crap that I was seeing on Twitter that, well, I mean, we could get something for him. So no, I think he was frustrated, and I think that was accurate. I saw Woj say he was frustrated. I didn't hear Woj say he wants out. And that's the key difference, is that you can be mad with where you're at because you expect to do better. And I think that's where they were at.
How many
John, what's up?
Wetzel's pretzels could you get for Kevin Durant?
How many Wetzel's pretzels did you have tonight, man? Your Wetzel's pretzels
Never
creep, right?
enough.
I know.
No such thing.
I
Can
know.
you hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. And really quick, John, don't watch the first 5 minutes of this pod.
Oh, I
Technical
watched it. I was
difficulties.
stalking you behind you, waiting
Don't.
to bomb you. And yeah, it was. I was literally behind you as you were like saying expletives, like, oh
Yeah.
shit, trying to get this thing to work. But you know what? You landed the plane. You landed the plane.
All right, what's going on, man?
Not much,
How
man.
are you doing?
Good game. Great game. Look at that final score.
Yeah.
Great game. I got a couple takeaways I want to talk about, but I want to introduce. This is nephew Matthew,
Bull number 1 fan.
Bull's
What's
number
up?
one.
Yeah, let's go. Mobile big minutes tonight.
Bold words.
Today, but he didn't. Don't know what happened.
Where was
Visiting
the
from-
meaningful minutes for Bull
Visiting
tonight?
from Fresno, California. Apparently, it's a stronghold for Bull affiliates.
Definitely.
But what a game by Nurkic. What a fucking game
Yeah.
by Nurkic. He was a man amongst men. He's the
Yeah,
Bosnian
24 and
beast. He's a
15.
beautiful
Yeah.
son of a bitch. And I will say this. Obviously, I'm not going to hang out very, very long. You guys got a beautiful show to do. But obviously, I got roasted a little bit on Twitter today because I believe that Bradley Beal should come off the bench for the first few games, because I think that's
Yeah.
a good way to institute him back into the lineup and develop his minutes and give him what he needs to be successful as a human being and a basketball player.
Who's going?
But oh well, he had a subpar game relative to the Bucks score. But he looked good. You know why? Because he allowed Devin Booker to play off ball. And off ball Booker is a good Booker. And that's all I know. And tell me what you saw, Matthew.
Okay, I saw unacceptable perimeter defense. That's what I saw. Why are we letting
Facts.
Terry Rozier
Yeah.
drop 42, 1 point away from his career high, tying his career high? We cannot be letting that happen. So, and I'm not a big Nurkic believer, but the way he played today was amazing. Can it hold up against real big men and not Nick Richards? We'll see. But
From the mouth of
It-
bitch.
I think we got a new
strong
Matthew.
analytical
Yeah,
take.
I was like, I think we got a replacement for
knows
me.
ball.
And his name's Matthew.
Dude, all we
Is it-
Well,
did
first
was
off,
drive
Bull
He's
Bull's
cheaper
not going
too,
to solve
right?
that perimeter
the entire
defensive
time.
problem. that was
And then it got-
impressive.
Quiet.
Yeah, John, did you have surgery on your mouth today, or what's going on? Things.
No,
things are s-
I am
Oh.
acting like I am Will Ferrell from one of his
Okay.
SNL skits.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm talking
Goulet.
about. You know what I'm talking about, Jake?
We're Robert Goulet, right?
No, not Robert Goulet. The one where he's the American movie something, where he's bald and he's got a beard and he's like, I forget the name of the character.
Oh, right. Yes.
It's an actual show and they were spoofing it.
Yes,
He's like on
it's
the-
about
on the-
like traditional theater, or not traditional
Yes.
theater, but like he was a theater guy and he was like reviewing movies and he'd be like, defensive rebounding. Some people say Yusuf Nurkic
Yes,
is one of the greatest of all time.
yes.
Explain.
In 1955, Bill Russell.
Okay. Now I
Andre
know what you're
Drummond
talking about. Yeah, it
Showed
took me a
phenomenal
while.
ability to rebound the ball. Yusuf
Yes.
Nurkic, is he
So
better?
we played
Is that where he
trivia
falls off
game.
his chair every time?
No,
Is
I
that where
don't
he
know
like
about that.
laughs and? Oh, okay.
He just kind of
Yes,
like looks
yes,
off into
there
the
is-
audience.
There is
I
some
like that.
spoof thing, but he's like, Tom Cruise, some people think that you're the most modern and most effective actor of your time. So we had a trivia game last night, and every single card I read
James
just
Lipton.
like that.
I think it is James Lipton.
James Limpton, yes. Legend Joey got it. James Limpton, yes. That's what I'm doing at this time. So I got to drive home, but fuck, I wish I was on the podcast. I got so many things that I saw tonight that I want to talk about. And we play Orlando next, and we're going to lose. But I'm going to take off, and I'm not going to end the pod.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, John. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Jam.
Bye, Matthew.
Thank you, Side Matthew. Have a good rest of the night.
Side Matthew. I like it.
Yeah, and let's just talk about him.
Nurkalicious definition make them boys go crazy.
Oh.
Well, not really quick. I think Nurk tonight really started out the game strong. I think the Suns fed off of his energy. He was insane under the rim. I know it was just Nick Richards the whole time, but the way he just knows to dominate these guys, the 2 dunks he had early on, really set the tone, I feel like, for the Suns. And what I love is, he just keeps abusing all game long. They can never have enough Nurk, right? If Nurk is in good position, they'll find him. I think 3rd or 4th option, when the ball's rotating like that, he always looks like to have a good, wide-open shot near the rim. I mean, tonight, it's just the way Nurk's been all season. And I wanted to get, after your take on Nurk, I want to talk about your top 3 favorite Suns right now. Because I think Nurk is my favorite. Okay. Nurk is by far my favorite Phoenix Sun. He's played almost every game, unless, the tragedy he had. I think he lost his uncle. But he's played every game. Don't look at the box score. That energy, minus the voice cracks, he's been phenomenal, man. What do you think?
Man among boys, especially the last. I mean, there was a moment. I feel like he started the season strong, and then had about a week or two where some people were like, well, maybe Ayton was still better. And then he kind of continued to wipe out that idea. So overall, definitely, it seems to, in my opinion, have been a successful trade for the Suns. Nurkic knows how to use his larger body, which is just, I mean, it's old school basketball. It's fun to watch, and it's fun to watch. Little guys get pushed around a little bit, and it not be us for a change. I feel like I'm used to seeing, the kind of shorter guys, or the, like beanpole type Kevin Durant's, like trying to get a rebound against a larger opponent. And finally, we have somebody in the middle that takes up space. I mean, he's kind of like a defensive tackle in football, and that it's a little, underappreciated. They absorb so many hits and so many blocks, but Nurkic is good at it. He's effective. He gets offensive rebounds, puts it back in, and he just controls the glass. And yeah, 28 minutes, 24 points, 15 rebounds, a couple of blocks tonight. It's just, this is a very productive 4th best player on your roster. And honestly, I mean, obviously because of Beal's injuries, Nurkic has been playing like the 3rd best player most of the season. So absolutely phenomenal job tonight. I don't know Nick Richards from Adam. All I know is that he's a professional basketball player, and Nurkic made it look like he should not be. Top 3 current Suns right now. I'm going to say Devin Booker. I'm going to say Grayson Allen, because that guy came in and he's 2nd on the team in 3-point percentage, and I think like 4th overall. He's right behind Durant, I know.
Yeah, because Durant's number 1 in the league.
Yeah, so. And he takes more than Durant, I think, does. And so Grayson Allen has really surprised me. I thought he was going to be, kind of meh, and just kind of a throw-in. He's really impressed me. 3rd favorite player right now after Booker and Grayson Allen is, it's easy to say Durant, but Durant's not exactly the most fun. Like
I know what you mean.
I mean, exactly. Do I absolutely love Durant? Is he one of the best players of all time and not best player on this team? Absolutely, he is one of all those things. But he's just kind of a quieter guy. He goes about his business, and he breaks your heart, and he nails mid-range jumpers over your hand. But you've got somebody like an Azubuike just like grabbing a rebound and ripping the backboard almost down. Those guys are a little bit more fun. So I don't know. Favorite 3rd? I think you're right. I think Nurkic would certainly be in that 3rd for me right now in terms of just kind of that power play that he's been doing. But don't worry, Suns fans. I'd have Durant probably immediately following that.
Yeah, right after that. But I'm with you on that. Those are my top 3. I think Lazy Sasquatch. And if you guys want to in the chat too, Jamsters, the 71 of you watching, Thanks for hanging around. I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe the pod. Go to watch Jake's pod, Sun's Planet, every Saturday morning, right? You're still doing
That's
Saturday
right.
mornings?
Less than or in 12 hours and 4 minutes, you can hear us recap the entire week, not just this game.
Beautiful. Yeah, maybe John could join and give his takes on this game because I
Oh,
know
I don't know. I don't know if we got enough room for him.
Oh no.
You know.
Okay.
Some people say Bradley Beal is one of the greatest guards of all time.
I wish I
Your
knew what the
thoughts?
hell you guys are talking about. I wish I knew what the fuck was going on.
It was just like, it wasn't even like the character he did wasn't even necessarily like funny. It was just like he just made him that way.
Well, I mean, after that, I think we could talk about Booker. I mean, I think Booker really heated up there in the third quarter.
Are you down on Booker? I've seen some on Suns Twitter say
no.
Booker needs to take off the headband and actually start making some shots, and they were down on Booker, and I feel like Booker's still very productive. He doesn't have perfect games, but yeah,
he's been good. So I don't know what this is, but I feel like every season it doesn't go in this order exactly. It's like Booker looks amazing sometimes, like he looks Kobe-esque, sometimes like Michael Jordan. To me, I'm just like, this guy has insane games where you're on your feet watching at home. It's just like, what is this guy doing out there? He's a fucking miracle. But then he'll have a couple games like that, then he'll dip back down. His stats still look good, but it's never the same kind of quality games as he has in those instances where it's just like, oh, who is this dude, right? Is he a first team all NBA? Then he kind of shies away from that. Then the All-Star game's coming up, and it's like, well, is he going to be an All-Star or not? It's always the same shit, right? So I just thought this season you would see a more elite Book, and it's kind of dipped down a little bit. I think maybe with the injuries,
at least over the last few weeks, for sure.
Yeah, it has, and I mean, it happens, right? You go through the little slumps, but he's still been incredible. I think tonight he did really. I mean, he was fucking great. 35 points, 5 for 7 from 3. He did hit he hit 2 or 3 in a row, 3 in a row in the third, something crazy like that. Like he was just nonstop, and 10 for 10 from free throws, still pushing it to the rim, and still getting his teammates involved with 7 assists. But after him, I think if you want to talk about Azubuike, he really didn't have a big game tonight with 6 minutes. But are you excited for this guy coming up? Yeah, I don't know. He had 2 blocks. Yeah, every time he came in, block. But I was excited. Like, I came here excited to watch him play. Like, that's what we're talking about, like our top players. It's like those are the kind of guys you want to watch. Like, Azubuike just brought the intense emotion back to the Suns lineup when he comes in. So I was excited to see him, but only 6 minutes tonight. And this is what happened. So, I mean, the first game he played, he got 11 points. I think he played 21 minutes. Then he played maybe 4-6 minutes the next game. Then he came back, bigger minutes. Then tonight, 6 minutes again. It's fine. Maybe they're just going to work him into it. But you think he's going to be the more stable force behind Nurk, even with Eubanks on the team?
Ooh. I mean, right now, Eubanks didn't even get in. So
he didn't even get in.
It's interesting right now. I like how, Jacob in the chat. Azu is like a big-bodied Bismack. I like that description of it because we probably don't ever want him taking a shot more than 3 feet from the rim, and if he can get rebounds and play defense, that's really all we need. I think you're right. Like, he's been an energy guy, and just showing up and his yelling and kind of flexing on people and not just like tapping the rebounds out, but just going after them, kind of violently. I love it. Like that's exactly what we need. And it kind of, because let's be honest, Booker, Durant, and to a degree Beal, but of course we haven't seen him play much, are a little bit more on the finesse side, and that's not bad. They're super efficient at it. They'll as we mentioned, we shot the lights out tonight. The lights out, Suns fans. We had trouble stopping them. They did nothing to stop us. The only thing that they stopped is nothing. They didn't stop us at all, I guess. The only thing that caused us to miss shots was because we can't make them all. And so, no, I would say that it's nice to see kind of those Reggie Evans types, those Andre Drummond with the Bulls, just like somebody hungry to go play defense, rebound, and just kind of embarrass and kind of an enforcer. Grayson Allen, you guys have the drop for the he's the fuck shit up guy. Ozzy kind of likes to do that down low. and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, he does, and I love his energy, even in interviews and stuff, man. You can just tell, like, he just has been waiting for this moment. Like you said, Grayson Allen is a fuck shit up guy, but those two, it's like you could trust them with the energy they're going to bring and that they care, right? Even through that little thing that they were going through where it was the 3-game road or skid, and you just could tell like the energy wasn't there. Those two guys you could still trust, and there's other guys on the team as well. I think it really starts with Kevin Durant really going down the line. I think Kevin Durant showed last game that he really did care, obviously. Tonight, he did good. He had 5 straight points really to end the fourth. I think the Suns were down by like 10 points. Then he pushed them back up to 15 really quickly. So that's the impact you can have. I know he did play some big minutes last game and tonight as well. But with Beal coming back and stuff, I think when Beal starts to work his way into things, it's going to be nice. And I just think it's about a 10-game mark that I'm looking for. I'm looking for the 10 games with the big three and staying healthy. Is there a game or like is there 5-game instance that you need to see with this team, or is it just 10 games? Because I need to see 10 to 12 games to really wrap my head around this whole thing.
10 to 20. I mean, it's
10 to 20. Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say the rest of the season. I mean, that's what it is. But
because
there's just so many different teams and different styles of play right now. And so, I think in a 5-game stretch, we're not going to see it because, Bradley and Booker and Durant are still kind of looking at each other like, are you going to take this one? Or me? Him, me? Kind of like Night at the Roxbury. Him, me, him, me. Don't worry about it. You do it. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what it is right now. So, no, I think the more when they start getting there, we're going to see turnovers come down. We're going to see defense improve because they won't have to know, oh, there he is. He's open. Here's the ball. They won't have to say, I better help out because I don't know where they are. No, I know where he is. He's there. He can stay in front of his person. Here, Booker will be driving. So there it is behind the back and easy pass. So I'm looking for a slow, stock market style improvement from the big three over the next 10 to 20 games. That's what I want to see is an improved efficiency from those three. And so that, I disagree with John to a degree. I don't think Beal should have come off the bench because Beal's going to be in the starting lineup with the big three. Hornets aren't a good team right now. They had a lot of injuries. Throw them in the deep end with the other two, and let's start ripping the Band-Aids off now, as opposed to starting him on the bench, seeing if he's effective, and then trying to then take another few games to try and work him in, because it's different when you're playing with different guys. But it'll be a little bit of a run, I think, for until we see peak big three ability.
Yeah, I think so too. And coming up next, we have New Year's Eve. It's a 6:00 start. They're going to play they're welcoming the Orlando Magic, who are 19-12 this season from the Eastern Conference. And, you would think the Magic, you look at it and you're like, oh, probably an easier win. But no, this team's actually pretty good this year. So I think it's going to be a better matchup for the Suns to really test themselves against. And I think the thing is really getting through 3 games for me just without injury. If we can get through that, then I'll be more comfortable. Then we can I'm just like, after 3 games, if Beal stays healthy, then I'm like, okay, now we can like really watch this team play, because Beal with 3 games under him, he'll make sure that he's more involved and he'll hit his shots. He can come around picks. He can do what he does. And I think handling the ball more, taking that off a book. But heading into the next game, I just think that the way the Suns ended tonight's game, it was kind of sloppy, right? So my thing is like, do you think they need that point guard to really end these guys? I know it was the Hornets and they're shooting like crazy, and the Suns probably just kind of lost some steam. They're like, we're gonna win this game anyways. Games like this, does it scare you still a little bit? Do they need that guy like a Chris Paul-esque to like kind of manage thing and ends games the way they're supposed to be ended?
I started trying to start a campaign, much like my Patrick Ewing for head coach, that ended up going nowhere in the offseason. But I started my online petition that the Suns take a look at John Wall, Bradley Beal's old running mate, as somebody that he's looking for another shot, and maybe he could be somebody to run the point a little bit. I think we will see something at the trade deadline eventually some sort of additional, maybe interior, well, I mean, of course they're going to be looking, right? They're going to look at the exact same thing all of us Suns fans, are talking about. Do we need somebody to run point more traditionally? And do we need somebody that's a better fit at the 4 or a backup 5? And so I do think they'll look at that. I saw somebody in the chat say, hey, we should package Yuta, KBD, and Eubanks. We're not going to get much for that $3.5 million combination.
No.
So it's not going to be that, Suns fans. If anything, is there a team out there that wants to still believe in Nasir Little going to be something more than he's currently shown? I don't think we're going to be shopping Grayson Allen right now, unless there's one unbelievable trade. And honestly, we're not going to ship him to a contending team, and non-contending teams probably aren't going to try and trade for him. So I think you're going to be looking at a Nasir Little, and that's it.
It's like
I don't think at this point, I don't think we're going to be shopping Nurk either, because we're probably not going to get anyone for it. So if you want to put Bull with somebody to add another $2 million onto a salary, go right ahead. So package him with Nazi to see if there's something out there. I think any type of improvement's just going to be had on the free agency list right now or in the buyout market later. But yeah, I mean, hey, good couple games right now, but let's be honest. It was not that long ago that the Mavericks really had us upset on Christmas. So we're starting to trend up. Let's just keep pushing, keep fighting through. You're right. I think the Magic will be a tough game. They're almost a 500 ball club, similar to the Rockets, and that was a quality win. You got to beat the 500 teams. You got to beat the below 500 teams like the Hornets, and figure out how to beat the better teams as you go. It's okay to lose to a hot team and a dominant team right now. You can't lose games to teams like the Hornets and the Wizards, who we beat a couple weeks ago too. So it's a good win tonight for sure. But yeah, Scary Terry. I mean, you asked me if I was a little scared with what we were seeing. Scary Terry Rozier, 42 points, 14 of 22, 8 from 12 from 3.
Yeah,
I understand that the game seemed well on hand, and I think it was. Man, I tell you what, Terry Rozier would be a fun guy to have on the Suns.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Fuck, man. I think I kind of wanted him a couple of years ago, but the thing from Rozier that you really see, and you kind of saw in the past, where these guards come in, they're just unstoppable, right? They really outshine the Suns. They outshine Book. Like when Book's going head to head with these guys, I'm not saying that Rozier's going to be an All NBA player, but he just seems to always get outshined. Like you think, oh, this is Book's game, is going to close it out, and then Rozier comes in here 42 points. But I mean, I think right now, I know I mentioned the trades or whoever else you might think to bring in here, but right now it's just focusing on this team and what we have and seeing how it goes. Because we were excited about them, and we got to see it go through, stay straight, make sure no one gets injured. But let's do the Jamstar, and then we'll probably get out of here because they're closing everything up. I was
going to say, it sounds like you're at a gym and somebody keeps dropping the weights behind you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're folding everything up. I'm going to get folded into the stadium pretty soon. So let's do Jamstar.
Jamstar of the game.
All right, my Jamstar tonight. I'm just going to go first before anybody else because I'm selfish. I'm going to give it to Nurk, man. He was just insane tonight. I think the energy he brought, he's my favorite player. Just everything he does on the court, it's just fun. He just picked a fight with Richardson too, and Richards, and it was fun because you kind of knew that was going to happen because those two were kind of going at it all night, and that's what's so awesome is Nurk is just a badass dude. He's gonna pick fights with everybody, stand up for this team. He sends out a tweet about Bradley Beal coming back before anybody knew. He says, "BB, Sun's on fire." And everyone's like, "Oh, he's playing tonight." So Nurk broke the news. He's all for this team. He backs everybody up. He talked about Kevin Durant being a great teammate.
Follow the Vegas lines.
Yes, please do.
He was leaking it before Vegas knew.
Yeah, you got to follow that dude, anyways, because he'll pick fights for his teammates and he'll defend them all the time. So I got him tonight. Who do you got, man?
Ooh, you know what? I got to compliment Nurk again. I mean, he has the edge that we always wanted Ayton to have. Ayton is such a nice guy. He's a downright adorable. We wanted to cheer for him because it was like cheering for a friend. He's fun on interviews, the whole thing. but like somebody would, hip check him or throw an elbow, and he would just kind of, what are you doing? And sometimes you get mad, but not much. Nurk looks like he's like you. If you look at him wrong, he's going to end your family. And so I think that kind of intimidation in the paint, and he can actually back it up both offensively and defensively. Yeah. It's just so much fun to see. My Jamstar of the game, I'm going to give it to the Hobbit. He's on the quest of Mordor. He wants the ring, and we'll see. Maybe he'll get to keep it in the end instead of throwing it in the fire. But Eric Gordon, man, 7 of 12 from 3. It wasn't a perfect game, but it's a little bit more. For me, one heck of a week of just kind of, he let something fly in the press. He wanted to be featured more, and he's done nothing but back it up as this is the 6th man that we really wanted to have. And hey, coming off the bench tonight, 7 of 12 from 3. Electric.
Yeah, he's been amazing. Him and Grayson Allen, they're just nonstop. David Ray does give it to Booker. Metal Mike, I don't know what that says. John Trant says Nurkic Jamstar for actually jamming it. Totally true. RJ Monroe, he's going to give it to Jamstar. Purple Headband. Jacob, Book, Lazy Sasquatch, Booker. Let's see. RJ Monroe says no, actually it's a book, and it's a picture of a book, but he's gonna give it to Book.
And it's a picture of a book.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're bringing you guys also have the audio format. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that can't see, there is a book in the.
there is David Ray, D Book. Jacob did mention more about Nurk. Let's see. John Tran, Frodo. Yes, of course. Let's see. Laser Show, Book. And yeah, so I think if you have any other thoughts on the game, go ahead and proceed. Otherwise, I'm probably going to skedaddle. Anything else from you, Jake? Where will find you, your podcast?
Yeah, I think we kind of covered just about everyone. The only thing I'd mention, Chimezie Metu, 9.7 rebounds in 19 minutes, solid game off the bench. Let's get some more of this Metu moving forward. That's a very solid stat line, 9 and 7.
Yes.
And he was getting aggressive in the paint. He hit a 3 as well. So yeah, I like this version of Metu, and hopefully we can get more of that. If you want to hear a little bit more about how the whole rest of the week has gone so far, you can check me out in less than 12 hours on Suns Planet Pod. As I'll join my co-hosts from around the world. And actually next week, I think we go to Uruguay, where there's also apparently Suns podcasters. We just finished up with Spain last weekend and talked about a very Spanish Christmas and the Suns fandom in Spain as well. So, but this week we'll be covering the Mavericks, the Hornets game, and the Rockets game before we talk a little bit about New Year's Eve. So check me out in 12 hours.
Yeah, always a fun pod. All Jamsters out there, thanks for joining again. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we
didn't talk about favorite Always Sunny in Philadelphia episodes.
Oh, you know what? It's so funny because I was watching and I almost broke out the pen and paper to write down my top 10. So my favorite, I'll give you my favorite episode. It's I forget what it's called. I think the group dates one, where the gang group dates. I think it's in season 10, episode 2, where they do the group dating.
Yes.
And, yeah. I watched that one the most out of every episode. I love that one.
Is that where
Dennis is a 5-star man, and he cannot become a 5-star man. Ends up becoming a 0-star man.
Yes.
But yeah, what's your favorite?
You know, there's so many, and I can't think of them all right now. But the one that when you brought it up on the last episode was the first one that popped in my head. And I think it's called just Being Frank, but it's the whole episode is shot from Dan DeVito characters, like what he sees on a daily basis, the Frank Reynolds experience. And so that probably is the first one that popped in my head. Here's Frankenstein.
Yeah. No, that's a good one too. I've seen that one a few times, not too many, but that's later towards, I think, season 11 or 12.
I think so. Yeah.
It's later
better. On. Yeah. There's so many good episodes. I mean, I'm almost better
insane
at naming like the ones I skip, which are few and far between. But like, there's a few that I've seen a couple times. I'm like, I don't need to watch that one again. And then otherwise, I just let them play.
Oh, dude, I've seen every episode like 100 times. That's my favorite show. It's the only thing I ever watched. Jersey Bama Shore, though, or whatever. What is it called? Florida Bama Shore. Jersey Bama. I'm into that right now. So, anyways, I don't know why no one wants to hear this shit, but Anything else though before we take off?
No, that's I guess Happy New Year, because I won't be there with you guys on New Year's, but happy early New Year's to everyone.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, everybody. We will be live New Year's Eve. I'm pretty sure it's going to be John and I.
You guys going to do champagne? You're going to have the 2024 hats on and the
champagne campaign. Yep, 2024. We're going to have
champagne campaign. No, campaign's not with us anymore, though.
No, yeah, but we'll be here live after the game. It'll be around 8:30 Arizona time. Until then, everyone go home and love your family.